Hello, and welcome to the level guide for R5A3. Let's get started by talking about loadouts. For this level, there are going to be some pretty high alarm classes comparative to the other A tier levels, so you're going to want to bring things that can efficiently deal with hordes of enemies. So things like the combat shotgun, machine gun, hell gun, and revolver are actually very strong choices for this level. There aren't very many big guys, so you don't really have to worry about bringing powerful weapons like the hell rifle, for instance. For tools, I recommend you bring the bio tracker, the mine deployer, the seafoam launcher, and any sentry gun that you choose. Although personally, I prefer the auto sentry because I like the staggering effect. Starting off in Zone 38, you will see that your main objective is to download the files on all 3 terminals inside of Zone 39. The twist is that 2 of these terminals in Zone 39 are password protected. You will find these passwords within log files on the terminals within Zone 40 and in 43. Zone 38 itself is fairly small, it's only 3 rooms, there's only a few clusters of enemies, and you'll be able to find 2 uses of medkits and 1 use of ammo kits. Clear out the zone, and then do the team scan to Zone 39. Inside of Zone 39, you'll be able to find your security door to Zone 40, your warden door to Zone 44, and your bulkhead door for the overload objective to Zone 231. This zone has no enemies or resources, but you will be able to find your main objective here beneath the warden door. The terminals on the left and the middle are locked by passwords, and the one on the right is not. For the terminal on the left, you'll be able to find the password within another terminal's log file inside of Zone 40, and for the one in the middle, you'll be able to find the password split into 2 parts on terminals inside of Zone 43. It will tell you what terminals the log files are on to get the passwords, so make sure you write those down so you have them for later. Because the terminal on the right is not password locked, you can complete 1/3 of the main objective right off the bat. Go into the terminal, type in the command extract data core, hit enter, and move on. Once you've done all that, go ahead, do the team scan to Zone 40, and head on into that zone. Inside of Zone 40, you'll be able to find your bulkhead key, as well as 2 uses of medkits and 2 uses of ammo kits. You'll also be able to find one of the terminals that has the password log on it, which you're going to need for the main objective. So go clear out the zone until you find the terminal, grab the password from the log file, and then go put it back into the main terminal found in Zone 39 and extract the data core. In the far back of Zone 40, you'll be able to find your security door to Zone 41. This is going to be a Class 3 cluster alarm, and the floor plan is going to look like this. The enemies are going to be able to spawn here, and they will break down this door to get into the room with you. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and pull the door, do the scans, finish the alarm, and head on into Zone 41. Inside of Zone 41, you will always find 1 scout. You'll also always find your bulkhead door controller for the main and extreme objective, as well as your security door to Zone 42, which is locked by a cell and it contains a disinfect station and a lot of resources. Inside of Zone 41, for resources, you'll be able to find 2 uses of medkits, 1 use of ammo kits, and 2 uses of tool refill kits. Once you've gotten all your resources, head back into Zone 39 so you can start your overload objective. If you aren't doing overload and you're doing extreme, you can skip to this timestamp on screen right now to see that. And if you aren't doing extreme and you're only doing the main objective, you can skip to this timestamp to see that. Everybody else, get ready to head on into Zone 231. Inside of Zone 231, you'll see that your overload objective is to find 3 power cells and bring them to the generator cluster. Zone 231 itself will only have a few handfuls of enemies. It will also have your generator cluster in it, as well as a fog turbine. You'll also be able to find 2 uses of medkits, 2 uses of ammo kits, and 2 uses of tool refill kits. Once you've gotten everything, go to your team scan in the back of the room to Zone 232, and whenever you're ready, head on into that zone. Inside of Zone 232, you will find 3 scouts, and there is a decent likelihood of this zone spawning with a couple of big enemies in it. For resources, you'll be able to find 2 uses of medkits, 2 uses of ammo kits, 2 uses of tool refill kits, and 2 uses of a disinfect pack. You will also find 2 different security doors, one to Zone 233, which is in lockdown until you finish the overload objective, and you will also find a security door to Zone 234, which just requires a team scan. Finally, this zone is going to have cocoons in it, meaning that once you leave, everything except for the scouts is going to respawn. Clear your way towards the security door to zone 234, do the team scan, and whenever you're ready, head on into that zone. Inside of zone 234, you'll be able to find 2 uses of medkits, 2 uses of ammo kits, 2 uses of tool refill kits, and 2 uses of a disinfect pack. It is also going to contain a large quantity of normal enemies, and you want to be careful when clearing this zone out because it does have more dense fog than the previous zones. In the far back of the zone, you'll also find your security door to zone 235. This security door is going to be a class 5 alarm, and the floor plan is going to look like this. The enemies will be able to spawn here, and this is the only door into the room, so they will have to break this one. What I recommend you do is have somebody chuck one fog repeller by the door, and once you finish the initial team scan, have your player with Seafoam run over to the door and keep it closed during the entire class 5 alarm. That way everybody else can just do the scans and you don't have to worry about shooting anything. Once you finish the scans, kill off all the remaining enemies and head on into zone 235. Inside of zone 235, you'll always find one scout along with all 3 of your power cells that you need. You're also going to be able to find 2 uses of medkits, 2 uses of ammo kits, 2 uses of tool refill kits, and 2 uses of a disinfect pack. When you first enter the zone, the room off to your right is going to have your terminal in it, so go on there, ping your cells, grab them, and get out. Keep in mind on your way back that zone 231 does have the cocoons in it, so the enemies will have respawned. Unlike other levels, there is no alarm on this generator cluster, so once you put the cells in, the only thing it does is take zone 233 off of lockdown. Whenever you're ready, go over to zone 233 and open the door. Inside of zone 233, you'll be able to find 2 uses of medkits, 2 uses of ammo kits, and 3 uses of a tool refill kit. You will also be able to find your bulkhead key, as well as a cell, and you can use this cell to open up the door to zone 42, which is going to have a disinfect station and a ton of resources behind it. I show the floor plan for this alarm later in the video, so you go ahead and skip to this timestamp right now if you want to see the floor plan for the zone 42 alarm. Everybody else, head back on over to zone 41 and put the bulkhead key in to start your extreme objective. If you aren't doing the extreme objective, you can skip to this timestamp to see the main objective. Everybody else, we're going over to zone 122. Inside of zone 122, you'll see that your extreme objective is to find an HSU. This HSU will always be located inside of zone 124. Zone 122 itself will always contain 1 scout, and for resources, you'll be able to find 2 uses of medkits, 2 uses of ammo kits, and 2 uses of tool refill kits. In the far back of the zone, you'll find your security door to zone 123. This is going to be a class 5 alarm, and the floor plan is going to look like this. The enemies will be able to spawn here, and they will only break down this singular door to get into your room. Much like the overload objective, you're going to want to have the player with Seafoam quickly run over to the door once you start the alarm and continuously re-Seafoam the door until you finish the alarm. This way you don't really have to worry about shooting anything, and you can just focus on the scans. Because the Seafoam player has to be incredibly fast for this alarm in particular, one technique that helps is holding onto a full Seafoam charge before you finish the full team scan, and then running over to the door and fully Seafoaming it. This way you don't have to wait for a full charge when you finally reach the door, you can already just shoot it on there. Once you finish the scans, get ready to head on into zone 123. Inside of zone 123, you're going to find a few handfuls of big enemies, and for resources you'll be able to find 4 uses of medkits, 4 uses of ammo kits, and 2 uses of tool refill kits. Once you clear out the zone, you can go to your security door to zone 124. Be ready because as soon as you pull this alarm door, it's going to turn on an error alarm for the rest of the level. Once you finish the team scan, go ahead and open the door and head on into zone 124. Inside of zone 124, you'll be able to find not only your HSU, but you'll also be able to find your bulkhead key. For resources, you'll be able to find 4 uses of medkits, 3 uses of ammo kits, and 3 uses of tool refill kits. Search around for your HSU or a terminal so you'll be able to ping it, but once you find it, go ahead and grab the DNA sample, do the team scan, and get ready to head on back to your main objective. Your bulkhead door to zone 43 is going to be a class 5 diminished alarm. What diminished means is that it's going to have fewer enemies per spawn wave, so you're going to have less enemies to deal with overall. Your floor plan is going to look like this. The enemies will be able to spawn here, and they'll break down either of these two doors to get into the room. So whenever you're ready, go ahead and pull the alarm door, complete the scans, and head on into Zone 43. Inside of Zone 43, you'll be able to find one scout. You'll also be able to find a cell, a few handfuls of large enemies, as well as the 2 terminals you need for your main objective. For resources, you'll be able to find 2 use of medkits, 1 use of ammo kit, and 1 use of a tool refill kit. Hop onto any of the terminals in the zone and ping the 2 that you need to go to. Once you get to those 2 terminals, go ahead and find the logs on them and get the password pieces. If you didn't do the overload objective, now is your opportunity to grab the cell and do the resource room for Zone 42. It is going to be a Class 3 alarm, and your floor plan for it is going to look like this. The enemies will be able to spawn here, here, and here, and they can break down any of these doors to get into the room. Once you've gotten your password and figured out your alarm situation, go ahead and make your way back to Zone 39, put in the last password, extract the data core, and get ready to do your alarm door to Zone 44. Your alarm door to Zone 44 is going to be an S1 diminished alarm. This is the last scan of the entire level, so don't be afraid to use everything that you have. Burn all your ammo, burn all your meds, burn all your mines, all of your C-foam, put your sentry down, do everything that you can. The enemies will be able to come through either of the 2 security doors that lead into the room, or through the bulkhead door if you've done the overload objective. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and pull the alarm door, complete the scan, open the door, and head towards your extraction point. There is no alarm on this extraction, it's just whatever enemies are left from the S1 scan. It's also a very fast extraction, so just step into it and finish it, and you will have beaten R5A3. Due to the nature of RNG, resource numbers and enemy numbers may be off by ±1, but for the most part it should be what I show here. That's pretty much all I've got. Leave a comment if you think I missed something, and you guys have fun.